So you just bought a Humminbird XPLORE. Now, before you hit the water, there's gonna be 7 things you're gonna wanna do first. A couple of them will make this thing work better. A couple could save you some serious frustration. One of them I really wish I would have done from the beginning. So before you launch your boat and start messing with a bunch of settings, let's get this thing set up right. Number 1. First thing, you're gonna wanna update the software. And I know what you're thinking, I just bought this thing, should it already have the newest software? Well, maybe not, right? Your XPLORE could have been manufactured months ago, sat in a warehouse, then sat on the retailer's shelf, and Humminbird may have released updates during that time. So before you start changing any settings or troubleshooting anything, you're gonna wanna make sure you're running the latest software, and there's a couple ways that you can update it. Now, the first way, which is the way that I did it, is through the micro SD card. You go to the Humminbird website, and I'll put a link in the description, and download the latest XPLORE software onto your micro SD card. Power on your XPLORE, then insert that micro SD card into the unit, and the XPLORE unit should automatically recognize the update file and give you a prompt to install it. Select install, and when the update is finished, the XPLORE will automatically restart for you. Now, you can also update your XPLORE through the One Boat Network app, which we'll talk about in a moment. And just so you know, once you're running the software 6.090 or newer, you also have the ability to download future updates over Wi-Fi, which make things a whole lot easier moving forward. But however you want to do it, it's going to take a few minutes at home, and it's going to save you a lot of frustration out on the water, because these updates, they can include things like new features and bug fixes and stability improvements, sonar improvements, Mega Live compatibility, One Boat Network updates, Minn Kota integration, new accessory compatibility. There's a lot of different things, right? So before we change anything else, get that software updated. Number 2, download the One Boat Network app and connect it to your XPLORE, right? This gives you some really useful features right from your phone. You can manage, edit, and transfer waypoints. You can study maps and plan fishing spots before you ever get to the lake, and even download your software updates for your XPLORE. You can sync up to 10,000 waypoints between your XPLORE and your phone, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And if you're running compatible Minn Kota equipment, you can also control select trolling motors and shallow water anchors through the app. Plus, you've got manuals, there's tutorials in there, frequently asked questions, and even the ability to request a callback from the Humminbird support. And something that's pretty cool, Humminbird's technical support is based right here in Eufaula, Alabama, where these units are built. So again, set this up at home. Don't be the guy at the boat ramp downloading apps and pairing devices while everybody else is fishing. All right, number 3, register this thing. I actually had the opportunity to go down to Eufaula, Alabama and visit the Humminbird plant where they build these units. And one of the things they specifically told me was make sure that you register your product. And why? Because your XPLORE comes with a 2-year limited warranty. But when you register it, Humminbird gives you a 3rd year. And it's really simple, right? Go to the Humminbird website. I'll put the registration link in the description below. Create or sign into your account. Enter your product information, serial number, and receipt, and register your XPLORE. You're taking a couple minutes of time for another year of coverage on an expensive piece of electronics that spends its time and life around water. So yeah, I'm registering it, and I think you should too. And number 4, and this one I really wish more anglers did from day one, including myself. Create a waypoint system from the beginning, right? Just don't start dropping identical waypoints everywhere, because 20 waypoints from now, you'll probably remember what they mean. 500 waypoints from now, well, good luck. So the easiest way to access your waypoint menu so you can set up your system is hit this waypoint button right here, and you'll see some high-level options for you. You can click, I got weeds, or a big fish, or a school of fish, or timber, or rock pile, and you can actually change the colors of all these icons by going over here. Maybe you want, so maybe yellow means something or a certain range of fish for you, and blue means a 4-pounder, 5 means purple, who knows? But there's actually a lot more options if you go down here to favorite setup. And so you're gonna get a lot more icons here. You're gonna, basically don't go, you got rocks, you got school of fish. You can even do like, hey, where I sleep. You go down here, you can do different species. So maybe fishing for pike or bluegill or panfish or saltwater. Maybe you got crab pots out, whatever it is. And you got navigation icons. And like I said before, one click of this button over here, I can make them all purple. And so you can set up your favorite system by going in here, a lot of different options. Also, there's some more options. Go over here to all options. You can go here and you actually name these waypoints. So if you want to get really ticky-tack with it, or you have something you really want to remember here, you can go over here and you can actually type it in by clicking up here and typing in whatever you want to type in. Because eventually your map is going to have hundreds, maybe thousands of waypoints on it. And I don't want to look back at a waypoint 2 years from now and think, what in the world did I mark there? All right, number 5. So number 5 is one that I think can like legitimately help you catch more fish, right? Set up your mapping, because anglers spend all this money on Lake Master mapping, which in my opinion is some of the best mapping in the business, and then basically use it to see where their little boat icon is, right? There's so much more information available. So let me show you a few things I would set up right away. So first is going to be the depth highlight. So let me walk you through how to get there. What we're going to do is we're going to go into chart. Then you're going to go to your chart. So this is the lake around me. This is Portage Lakes area. And so as you can see, it's lighting up like a Christmas tree in a variety of different colors. And it's doing that because I have color coded different depth ranges. And how you would do that in the top bar up here, you're going to hit this button right here. And it's going to give you options over here to the right. So you can see the shallow water highlight I'm going to have in red. As you can see, it's all over the sides. And it's going to be essentially less than 5 feet. And then the next one's going to be 5 to 10 feet. I have this in green. The next one's going to be 11, 15 feet in yellow. And then 15 to 20 feet in blue. And this lake actually always goes all the way up to 58 feet. But I don't have that set. And so I wouldn't set that unless I'm specifically targeting out there, which I'm usually not in 58. Plus there's a ton of boats out there. So I typically make like tubers. And so you can adjust this however you want. If I want this to go up to 60 feet, I can make that all purple. Let's go ahead and make that jump up there real fast. Boom, there we go. Give it a second to shade in, and there you have it. So let's say I'm catching summertime bass between 12 and 16 feet. I'll set that as one of my highlighted ranges, and now everywhere that 12 to 16 foot zone exists, it starts jumping off the map for me. And then you have something that's really important. It doesn't get used very often, but it's going to be the water level offset. So this feature is really a feature a lot of anglers overlook. So let's say I'm fishing a reservoir that's several feet below normal pool. Well, the water changed, but your map didn't, right? So the water level offset lets you compensate for that difference so your contours better represent the actual water level that you were fishing. So let me show you how to get to that. Let's say in this particular lake, I know that there's a dam on it. They're doing some work on it last year, and so the water level is down like 4, 5, 6 feet. So if I were to fish that, how would I adjust it so my mapping is actually telling me the actual depth? So what you would do is you go up here to that hamburger button, click on that, and you're going to see something called water level offset. Turn that on, and let's say it is down 5 feet. We're going to go negative 5 feet. And as you can see on the map, everything just changed. Let's say the water is high 2 feet. We go up here, go +2. It's going to change the depth for you. And so it's a really easy way while you're on your chart to be able to change the water level offset to really ensure that you're getting the accurate reading on your map. Number 6, you're gonna want to set this thing up for how you actually fish, right? These units can do a ton of stuff, but that doesn't mean I want to dig through menus every time I need something. So there are 2 things I would customize right away. First, you want to customize your views. Now, let me show you how to do that. And so right now, there's like every view known in the book. And so let's say you wanted to change one of these. A lot of times you come to the screen, you'll have a bunch of open ones and you can just click it. So let's say I want to change number 7. I go over to edit. I go to 7, I go to new view, and let's say on number 7, I actually, on my left side, I want to see Mega Live 2, so I tap this, I put in Mega Live 2, and then on the right side, I want to see my chart, so I click a chart, and then I hit save. And now you can see, anytime I go into my views, I can just hit number 7, and it's going to show me Mega Live on one side of my chart. So now that we have that set, now let's customize these one boat network buttons. And so let's say you use 3 of these screens often. And one of those is gonna be Mega Live. And so let's make number 8 the number 1 one boat network. So you hold this down. When you hold it down, you're gonna go over here and hit number 1. And number 1, let's change the view. You want number 1 to actually be the number 8 view. And then hit okay, you're good to go. And so now, when you hit number 1, it's going to bring up Mega Live. And you can kind of do that for number 2 and number 3 as well. Now, there's other options as well. Say if I hold down number 2, and I want to change number 2, and instead of doing views, let's say I want to go into my menus. Maybe I want to have visualization into the trolling motor, or Mega Live 2, or Mega Live target lock, or the Raptor, or if you got talons on your boat. And so that's how you would do that. So that is how you change, and that's how you customize your views, and you customize your one boat network buttons. Because I don't know about you, because when I'm fishing, I don't want to be freaking 5 menus deep looking for something, right? I want to hit a button, get what I need, and keep fishing. The entire goal here is simple. Make the unit work around the way you fish instead of changing the way you fish around the unit. And number 7, let's talk about what everybody loves to talk about, right? Which is adjusting your sonar settings. Now, everybody wants the magical settings, right? What sensitivity are you running? What contrast? What side imaging range? And here's the thing, guys. I don't have magical settings for you. Nobody does. If they tell you they do, they're lying, right? The best setting today might not be the best setting tomorrow. You got different water, you have different depth, you have different bottom composition, you got different conditions. All those things can change what I want to see on that screen. So instead of blindly copying someone else's numbers, understand what the major adjustments are actually changing. So let's start with sensitivity. And so let's go to the Mega Live 2 view. And down here on the left, you can do a quick change on your sensitivity if you want. So you can do it there. Think of sensitivity as controlling how much of the sonar return you're allowing to become visible on the screen. If you turn it up, weaker returns become easier to see. That can help when I'm looking at like for small bait fish or subtle structure or weaker fish returns. But you're also gonna start bringing more clutter into the picture. So if I've got suspended material in the water or the screen just looks like a mess, I may wanna back the sensitivity down. I'm trying to see the information I need without filling the screen with the information I don't. Now let's talk a little bit about contrast, right? How you change the contrast, go up to your hamburger buttons, hit that, and you're gonna get both your sensitivity and your contrast. So you can change that there. Contrast helps visually separate stronger and weaker returns. So if I'm looking at side imaging or down imaging and everything starts blending together, I'm gonna want to adjust the contrast. Maybe I've got a rock, a shell bed, or a really hard bottom creating some really hard returns. Or maybe I'm looking for something subtle, like a small brush pile or a bottom composition. I'm adjusting contrast based on what I'm trying to see. Then you have side imaging range. Same thing, right? If I'm searching a giant flat, I might push my range out to 100, 120 feet, or even further. I'm trying to cover water. But once I find something interesting, right, I might go over to it and shorten that range because now I'm trying to see more detail. That little brush pile at 100 feet can become much easier to interpret when I tighten that range. So search wide and then tighten things up when you find something worth investigating. And so let's go to side scan and you can shoot out your range left and right here. So when you want to see 130 feet out, 175 feet out. And once again, you can change your sensitivity right here on the screen without having to dive into the settings section. And finally, color palettes, right? Bright sun, cloudy skies, screen brightness, even your eyes can determine which palette is best. So no one's gonna be able to tell you which one's best for you. And also if you want to change your sonar colors, you can go down here and they give you a smorgasbord of colors. Parrot, PB&J, Doppler, electric gill, spring crawl, sunrise, citrus shad. My goodness, the options are endless here. There's no one magical color, right? So pick the palette that makes it easiest for you to distinguish fish and structure and shadows and bottom composition. And here's the biggest thing, change one setting at a time. Make an adjustment. Look at what changed and understand why it changed, because eventually you stop worrying about my settings or someone else's settings and you develop your settings for your water, for your boat, for your transducer, and the conditions that you're fishing that day. So the goal is to set this thing up with the features you actually need to help you catch more fish. And I've got a lot more Humminbird tutorials coming over the next several weeks. So hit that subscribe and bell button so you don't miss them. And if you want to see where these things are actually built, I have the Humminbird factory tour for you right there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you out in the water.